Jay, turn that up real quick.
Ella Louise Cigars, 1927. It took us probably about 2 years to get here, but right now we feel like we have some of the best cigars on the market. And if you give us a chance, you'll find out.
Black Man Travels merch store where you can purchase BMT t-shirts, tank tops, travel quote tees, and much more. Stay travel motivated, my friends. Join the movement. Hey, family, if you want to connect with your fellow travelers around the globe and get early access to content as well as private events and merch store discounts, then make sure you join the private Black Man Travels 2.0 Facebook group. All right. And we are live. Welcome, family, to another show. Man, we have a very good show for you today. End of the year review. This would be my first full year living overseas, man. And we're going to talk about that. A lot of stuff I learned, some of my mistakes and living overseas. But all in all, man, this has been an epic year, not only for me personally, but for BMT. The group has grown. The movement has grown. I think when I initially left Atlanta for Medellin, I think I might have had close to 3,000 subs, maybe 3,000 subscribers. And currently, right now, we're finishing the year off with about 13,300 subs, man. So pat yourselves on the back. I really appreciate all the support that we've been getting over here at BMT. I want to shout out to my friends and my co-business partners, Micavelli, Cardell, Rigo Taxi. Shout out to all my brothers, Kobe, Tremel over there at Ella Louise Cigars. Shout out to Flip Flop. I had a lot of help in building this brand, and I really appreciate those guys. And I also appreciate you guys as well, man. We made a movement. We made a strong movement. I know we got like maybe 2 more days before the end of the year, but we did about 656,000 views. So over 500,000 people clicked on one of the videos and saw what we had going on as far as, black men and, traveling the world and all that good stuff right there, man. So this is going to be a good show, man, but this is not the official video for the end of the review. I'm working on a video, guys. It's going to be really dope. All my experiences over the year. I got clips of everybody. I'm pretty much narrating this video over some B-roll. I kind of handed it off to another editor, so he's working on that right now. It's hard kind of editing yourself. You definitely can do it, but I wanted to see the storyline from a different angle. So we're working on the video. It's a really good video. Like I said, it's going to talk about me living in Medellin, meeting different brothers over there in Medellin, my experiences meeting different expats over there. I spent about a month in the DR this year, so I did live in DR for about a month. I wouldn't say I had to be living, but I was there for about a month. My experience in the Dominican Republic, shooting a commercial for the Ella Louise guys, and also shooting a commercial in Medellin for them as well. Shout out to them once again. And now, currently, I've been in Brazil for 3 months. All right, so we're going to talk about all of that in the video. For the purpose of this live, just give you guys some travel updates, what's going on. Unfortunately, guys, we don't have access to the Black Man Travels 2.0 group. We did not kick anybody out of the group. Everybody sending us messages, and nobody got kicked out of the group. Right now, Facebook is telling us it's a technical error, so we're not sure if we're under some type of review. So, guys, do us a favor, and you can sub to the other group, Passport Bros. All right, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Also, YouTube, new YouTube channel alert, man. What I decided to do was separate the vlogs from the actual show, like the podcast show, the Black Men Travels podcast show, the BMT show. I wanted to keep this channel preferably, for, black men to have a discourse, also to give information, so I wanted to kind of separate the channels, man, because the vlogs, the live feeds, you know, I don't want to possibly get a strike or lose this channel because of the vlogs that I'm putting up. Because if you know, when you live feeding in Brazil, it's women everywhere, they're all in bikinis, you know, and the content in the vlogs is a little bit more racier. So I decided to separate the channels. I saw what going on with I think it's the Lapeef Network, and I didn't want that to happen. I didn't want, you know, to lose the movement, the momentum by losing, you know, the Black Man Travels YouTube channel. So that's the whole point of separating the channels, guys. So do me a big favor. We're about 930 subs in, close to 1,000. Matter of fact, let me leave the link for you guys right now. I'm gonna show you the channel. Let me show you the channel. Where we at here? I believe is right here. All right. So that's the channel, guys. The BMT Vlogcast channel. As you can see, I just uploaded a video called Robbery on Brazil Beach. Really good video. I had caught a little robbery in progress on video, man. So definitely check out that video, guys. Real good video. And it's also like I finished it off with a nice little vlog, just a day in the life of living in Rio de Janeiro. So it's a good video. So all the videos, all the live feeds, all the vlogs, you know, me walking around, live, everything is going to be on this BMT Vlogcast channel. As a matter of fact, let me drop that in the chat right now for the family. Give me 1 second, family. Yeah, Done No Music. I'm not sure what's going on right now, man. They're saying that it's just technical difficulties. We don't have access to it at all. People are still commenting. I mean, we see the comments coming in from the previous posts, but we cannot approve any posts right now currently. All right, let me get that back on here. So, guys, this is the link to the Vlogcast channel. I just dropped it in the chat. And let me drop it in the description real quick so we can go ahead and get this party started, man. But yeah, man, this has been a really interesting, great year. It's one of the best years I ever had in my life, man. I had no idea what I was in store for when I first moved down to Medellin. Of course, I was a little nervous. I was walking on, like, you know, some new waters here. I wasn't really familiar. I did not speak that much Spanish. My Spanish definitely increased. And I developed a lot of friends, man. Hold on, let me okay, I forgot to put everything on this. As a matter of fact, give me 1 second. Let me tag this. Okay, here we go. I tagged it in the title. And let me go here and tag that as well. So like I said, man, it was my first time living overseas. A lot of guys asking me questions. I'm going to open up the panel towards the end of the show because maybe we have some expats that might have some similar experiences as far as living overseas, man. It's very interesting. And the best thing that I really experienced was the people, like meeting different people from a different culture, man. Living in Medellin was just life-changing, in my opinion, man. It's one of the greatest cities, hands down, in the world, with some of the greatest people. Despite some of the crimes you see that we report in the group, you know, it's still one of the best cities in the world, man. And to live out there, it's just, you might get homesick, but for the most part, man, it's like you feel at home, if that makes any sense. It's a very difficult city to leave. I remember I was eating breakfast one day, and a guy told me, he said, man, Medellin is one of the most difficult cities in the world to leave. All right. Let me set this up here real quick, fellas, and we're going to get to flowing. But now, currently, I am in Rio de Janeiro. It is lovely out here as well. It's different, you know. It's definitely different. All right, let me hit that real quick. Let me get back to flowing. Let me catch some of these. Okay, I got a super chat here from my dude Tampa Twan. Shout out to Tampa Twan. He was one of the first guys I ran into in my travels overseas. He definitely dropped a lot of good game on me. Shout out to him. He says, we appreciate all the information this year. Happy New Year, bruh. Happy New Year to you as well, man. Young Jay's in the building. He says, what up, fam? What's going on? How you doing, brother? Done No Music. Yeah, man. You know, I was gonna talk about this later on in the show, but at some point, and this is why we've been working on the mobile app, man. At some point, we definitely got to control our own platform, man. It's so important, man, because a lot of dudes, including myself, we all love the Facebook group. You know what I'm saying? It's one of the, like, just to have our own platform and us to be able to discuss. It's kind of cool, man, because we need this. You know, black men especially, we need this, man, because you know, a lot of us in our daily routine, we're working. We kind of lost that camaraderie we had when we played football, you know, in sports and everything. It was definitely like a really good thing. You know, it's not, how do I explain this in a way? It's not on no gang stuff, of course, but it's just good to be associated. It's so much power in being associated with a group, man. So much power. And we go back and forth in the group. You know, we get on dudes, you know, we go back and forth. Dudes might not agree or something like that. But it's just good because at the end of the day, you know, you get a lot of good information, especially in concerns of travel. And it'll make your trip, it'll totally change your trip by being a member of the group. It's going to totally change your trip. Reason being, when you in Brazil, when you in Colombia, you simply, hey, bro, I'm in Medellin right now. Anybody trying to link up? Hey, dude, I'm in Rio right now. Anybody trying to link up? And then everybody meet up, you know, and you forge different relationships you would have had outside of your particular neighborhood, right? So you're meeting different types of black men here. The guys from Milwaukee are going to have a different type of energy, swag, and level of intelligence. Not to say they're smarter, but they might be. You might meet some guys from Atlanta that's really into the trucking game, and you might be trying to get into the trucking game. You can have them type of conversations in the group. You know, like I said, it's cool, man. Right now, you're seeing that when you overseas, you meeting cats from California, you're meeting cats from New York, and we joke around about that. You know, we get on cats from New York. You know, y'all New Yorkers be doing y'all thing, you know, with the women, the simping, my opinion. The Cali dudes, you know, Atlanta dudes. So we go back and forth jokingly, but it's just good to have that rapport with black men all over the country. And even in some cases, black men up in Canada. You know, like I didn't even know what was going on within these black communities up in Canada. Had no idea. You know, and we got group members from Haiti, we got group members in Nigeria, and then all you gotta do is ask a specific question. Hey man, what's a good neighborhood to stay in Rio? Somebody types in Bajajuka, where Aaron's at. Hit up Aaron. Aaron's down there. And then we networking from then, man. And that's like the most powerful thing. So I don't know if the group is going to be up, but we're getting a lot of requests to come in to the Passport Bros group. I got to drop a link in there as well for the Passport Bros group. All right. We put the Passport Bros, man, because if this is a second group to get taken down, Black Men Travels, we want to kind of disassociate ourselves with the name, you know, because they're going to be looking at anything that we do on Facebook. So we're working on the app, man. The app is the main priority for the year 2022. We had a couple of setbacks. Me and Cardell definitely invested some money and time into developing the app, and it didn't come out the way we wanted it. And we represent a brand, so we just scratched the investment. We scratched the app, and we decided to go with some different developers, man. So it's not like we haven't been working on the app, guys. But when you're talking about making a legitimate platform that's standard, Americanized standard, we didn't want just, you know, little weird looking emojis to be your profile page. You can't upload no photos. You wanted geotagging. So now we got a good developer, man, and we have the oversight of an American developer as well. So he's kind of overlooking the project. That way, you know, they can't just kind of slide us some BS and then, you know, we have to, you know, pay for it and all that good stuff. Now we got a good formula for developing a mobile app that will be our own platform. We can say what we want to say on there. We can post what we want to post on there. And it's going to be dope, man. It's going to be like our own little universe. And we're going to do a crowdfunding campaign for that starting at the beginning of the year. So we can have a very aesthetic to the eye, you know, pleasing to the eye mobile app for you guys. We don't want no BS, you know what I'm saying? Trying to charge guys monthly and they looking at like, man, what are we really paying for? We want everything to be legitimately because black men, we deserve it. All right. We deserve to have something professional and we deserve, you know, good quality platforms. Let me catch this super chat real quick. Let me see where you at. Let me see where you at. Shout out to Daryl Flacco. No, brother, we did not kick you out the group. GGDR, BMT, what's up? What's up? What's good? Brother's looking relaxed. Yeah, man. You know, it's the beginning of the year. Shout out to my dude, Jay Clyde, in the building. We got 61 in the building, man. Do me a favor and hit that like button for your boy when you get a chance. We're going to have a lot to talk about. All right, here we go. Dimitri. What up? It's Kamal Brooks. What up, Kamal? He hollered at me out there. I just touched down in Bogota all the way from Tokyo. Man, that is a long flight, bro. The jet lag is a biat, but worth the miles flown. Just showing support with the via super chat. Appreciate that, man. We out to we linked up out there in Medellin, bro. It was dope, man. It was definitely dope. Global paper, man. Listen, man, we're gonna have to come up with another statement, dog. Can we switch it up in 2022? Brazil or die? We gotta switch it up. Brazil is one of the dopest countries in the world. Though. I will agree with that. Shout out to my dude Jay Clyde. You know, man, but people in Medellin pronounce it John, which is double L's. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's just chopping up with somebody in the chat. Hold on. Hey, we're gonna do a whole show about this, and I'm gonna get flip flop on this show too, because he talk a lot of mess too. Says sorry, ATL cemented the simp behavior overseas. That is not true. Real ATL cats, man. We are cheap, very cheap, man. I don't make the rules. Shout out to Backpack Val. We're gonna chop it up about that, man. We definitely gonna chop it up about that, man. So, guys, listen. In concerns of traveling right now at this moment, you know you got the beer bug. You know, I'm not gonna get into the politics of it, but you know there are some restrictions in concerns with traveling overseas to some of the main destinations that we travel to. All right. So in Brazil, yes, currently you do need to provide a PCR test, and they do want proof of a vaccination. That was just declared last week. Now, the 5-day quarantine, I don't know nobody that's participating in that right now. I'm not sure how they plan on administering that, but I'm just letting you guys know that, you know, you can fly in. And I'm going to ask a couple of guys who just flew in, I think today. I got guys flew in a couple of days ago. I asked them as well, but they do want proof of vaccination, okay, in Brazil, as well as Colombia. The same rules apply. They want at least one vaccination. I know it's a lot of confusion in Colombia because they're saying that, oh, you know, you just need to provide a 72-hour PCR test. That is specifically for Colombian residents and nationals. It's not for foreigners, man. So you have to be vaccinated. Now, Dominican Republic is wide open. Mexico is wide open. We have Thailand. I got a couple of cats flying to Thailand right now. So we're going to get the intel about, you know, how to enter Thailand, what's going on out there as well. They're going to touch bases with me as soon as they touch down so I can give you guys that information. As far as I know, Thailand is still doing the sandbox program, which means if you're not vaccinated, you do have to stay isolated in a hotel of their selection. All right. Sorry about that, family. It's the Brazilian internet, man. Apologies there. But we back. He said the passport haters got him. Nah, man. It's this Brazilian Wi-Fi gang. All right. Are we back? Everything's good. Can you hear me? Am I clear? Are we Gucci? We still frozen, guys? Come on. Let's see. Let me know if we back good, man. I can see myself. Hold on, give me a second, guys. Let me get this. We might still be frozen. Hold on. All right, family, are we good? Okay, we good. T Breezer say we good. Shout out to my dude Joe. Shout out from the California. I think that's my guy Joe, man, who put me on some good game with the altcoins and crypto. Jay Clyde say we good. All right. So let's get back to the subject at hand. Like I said before, if you plan on traveling, guys, there are some restrictions. Make sure you do your due diligence. You don't want to be turned around the airport after you pay all that money. You know, it looked like they're starting to kind of low key shut things down around this time of the year, like it did last year. So be mindful of that. All right. Okay. About Thailand. Thailand has a sandbox program where if you are not vaccinated, you have to sit in you have to quarantine yourself between 10 to 14 days. You have to take a PCR test before you go and when you arrive. Now, if you are vaccinated, which is kind of strange, if you are vaccinated when you touch down, you take a PCR test. All right. And if it comes negative, you can leave and go where you want. All right. Now, I don't know if you guys saw this story. The story was posted in the Black Man Travels Facebook group of a dude who did not wait on the results of his PCR test. The guy was like Middle Eastern or something, and he ended up leaving his hotel room, and it was melee. They chased him down. They called him in a restaurant. He had to turn himself in. So, guys, you might want to take all the proper protocols in Thailand. They're taking it very seriously. They're taking COVID very seriously over there. You have to wait on that PCR test because the test came back that he was positive. All right. Now, a friend of mine tested positive for COVID. He was on his way to travel. He tested positive, so he could not travel, out here. But he had no symptoms at all. He took 2 PCR tests. They both came back positive. So now I'm getting to the politics of it, but just be mindful of that there are some restrictions. Shout out to Backpack. He said just playing. Oh, bro, listen. It's all in good fun, man. It's all in good fun. Listen. You got simpy dudes, Tinder dudes all over the country, all over the world. Atlanta is a transplant city, so we all know that, things have definitely changed in the culture of Atlanta. Because I will say this about Atlanta, about my city. Maybe 2003, 2005, you did not need a lot of money to attract a beautiful woman in Atlanta. All you needed was a 1-bedroom apartment and an old school car, and you was dating the most. That's all they wanted from you back then. Pre-2005, everybody coming in from other cities, materializing in Atlanta. Back in the day, any of my guys born in the 80s, early 90s, you already know what it is, man. We wasn't really a material culture like that. It was more about your energy, your swag, and, just helping each other out, man. We didn't really have like no hating for territory. It wasn't really no violent city like that. You had a couple of little beefs here and there. I think the New Orleans guys tried to come up and try to make something happen. It didn't work. But other than that, man, Atlanta was a really laid back city, and you had a lot of good women in Atlanta. Things just changed when people started coming from up north. With the materialism and changing the culture, women start wanting their rent paid. They start wanting houses. So traditional Atlanta dude is not up on that. So shout out to Backpack Val. He said, just praying, bro. It's all love. Shout out to the movement. Ran to you a few times in Medellin this summer with my bro, PPD. Who is PPD, man? Who is PPD? Let me know in the chat, bro. Once again, shout out to my dude, Joe, for putting me on the altcoins. All right. So like I said before, man, my first year living overseas, I'm going to say this, what I've learned. The things I've learned is one of the biggest things is getting rid of American creature comforts, right? Like at first, what I mean by this is you're going to a different culture and you might, you've been growing up in America your whole entire life. You've been cultured there. You're used to a certain standard of building. You're used to a certain standard of, having a nice cold AC, just these different little things that you don't think is a big deal. But once you start living there, it becomes somewhat of a big deal because you're not as comfortable, but you're so much happier, right? So you might not have no AC unit in Medellin. Most units don't have no AC. You just open the windows. It's still nice, right? You're not going to have a dryer in a lot of these places in Colombia or Brazil. They don't really do dryers. You got to air dry. That's something you got to get used to. Just little things like that. The food, I come from the South. The food is, we really take pride in our food, so we really got some good food. I got in a debate about this with my boy Kobe. Atlanta or Texas got the better food. But, our food is really seasoned up. It's really good. The women in our communities know the type of food that we like. That's an adjustment that, you don't think about when you're moving overseas, because you're like, okay, where's the, what I'm saying? Like, where's the macaroni and cheese? Where's all this good stuff at? Those small things that you quickly get adjusted to, because, the culture in Medellin is so dope. What I think I like about living overseas is family. Like, the family structure largely is still there. In America, it's a lot of work. Even in dating, it kind of tears into everything in your life, especially your social life. In America, you working 5-6 days out the week. Then you get taxed, especially if you don't have no kids. It's almost like, damn, is it even worth working in America, in the matrix right now? Then you take all that money, you try to invest, you try to save, you try to date. And after college, it's very difficult dating wise, because you're expected to kind of date around your same peer group, which is difficult because women are aging a little differently than men. You see what I'm saying? Dating a 30-year-old woman, you've been a 30-year-old guy, it's just different. It's a big difference, all right? Versus you overseas, you could be 40, 45, and you're dating women 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and it's the norm. So I think that's like one of the biggest things that I like about living overseas, is the fact that you can date women that are a little younger and haven't had so many experiences. I know people are going to kind of hate on that, but it's just the truth, all right? So those are just some of the things, I learned and adjusted to. The people in Medellin are dope. Rio, same, similar setup, but definitely some differences. Now, I get this question all the time: which one do I like more? Do I like Rio or do I like Medellin? Like I told in a previous stream I did with my boy Rob Bowers with No Excuse Entertainment, right now I would have to choose Medellin, simply because I know more Spanish than I do Portuguese. I'm learning Portuguese, but Portuguese takes some time. They definitely pronounce their words differently than how they pronounce them in Spanish. I would almost say Spanish is, believe it or not, a little easier in my opinion than Portuguese. Once you kind of get into the crux of really learning the language, you start to learn like, okay, wow, they really say this differently. Like, we don't even have words like 2-letter words. We don't even have that really too much in the English language, but it's definitely a learning experience. So that's another thing, man. Learning the language opens up so many different doors. Just having a simple conversation, it's very powerful, man. And that's another good thing about this movement, that you have men learning different languages, man, because that definitely opens up everything. It broadens your horizons, and it's impressive. Let's be honest with you. Learn a different language. It's very impressive. Passport Dog. Shout out to my dude, Passport Dog. Most definitely. Most definitely, man. Shout out to Reese's. I moved to ATL in 2001. It was all love, and Applebee's used to be popping. Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. We got 78 in the room. Guys, do me a favor. Let me create this banner real quick for the family. Smash that like button. I'm going to create a quick banner so you guys can see the name or how to spell our other Facebook group, Passport Bros. All right. Make sure you go over there and join Passport Bros. Also, family, once again, so we've got 81 in the room. Just a quick reminder to sub to the BMT Vlogcast channel. Let me show this channel one more time for the fam. All right. So just for my guys that just came in the room, this right here is the BMT Vlogcast channel. We at 931 subs. Let's go ahead and get that bad boy to 1,000. Do me a favors and go over there and sub to the channel. All right. Now, one thing I will say, let me see if I can put this right here. Let me see if I can set that up for you guys. Hold on. Give me one moment, family. Let me set this up for you. All right. All right. So, yeah, as you can see on top of the screen, make sure you go over there and sub to the channel. Now we had a few beefs this year, and some of those were my biggest, viewership. We beefed with a couple of cats, mainly Minister Jap. Shout out to Minister Jap. Minister Jap seemed like he had like a change of heart. He super chatted me a couple of times. We haven't talked formally, but through a friend of, of ours, a mutual contact, Jap has apologized and said, "Hey, bro, I don't want no smoke with the passport guys, nothing like that." He was just. I understand. And YouTube is beneficial to be somewhat controversial. It is somewhat hard coming up with different topics to talk about every other day. Different content. So not to say that what he said had any truth to it, because he was way off base coming for the passport bros. But we have to understand, in this space, people are going to constantly come at us because we're doing something that's not new, but it's new for us. You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree. A lot of people are they're not really used to, black men traveling the world, pretty much solo, kind of forging their own little path. That's something different. If you talk to most of your friends and family, the most places they ever go to is Jamaica, maybe Dominican Republic of Punta Cana, and maybe Cancun. We're doing a different type of traveling. In this particular group of travelers, you got expats living overseas in the Dominican Republic. You got guys living in Brazil, like myself. You got guys living in Colombia. You got guys living in Southeast Asia. All right. And that's somewhat different. And that's why you're going to get some type of shade being thrown our way. And we're not throwing any shade at anybody else, though. You notice that? Like, we don't even cause none of the problems. We don't even initiate anything. It's just that we have to defend ourselves. And I tell people, it is important. Some guys be like, man, why you even respond? You have to respond to a certain degree. That's the problem. We don't understand the power of, negative propaganda, basically. You want to always step out there. That's the whole point of them having the Jewish Defamation League, all right? They take any threat, any derogatory media to them very seriously because they know what it eventually led to. Because Hitler, not to say these guys are Hitler, I'm just saying, give you an example. Hitler had a very derogatory propaganda campaign against them for years before he actually started being active in what he was doing as far as the Holocaust. So they take any type of derogatory media towards them very serious because they know that's the first step. So in this new thing that we're doing, traveling is not new, but seeing brothers travel and we branding this to a certain degree, it's new to some people. We have to take these comments, this propaganda very seriously because you don't want that type of moniker on black men traveling the world. And we all travel the world for different things, but you don't want that negative monitor on it. So you have to respond to guys that don't know. And it's surprising. What surprised me this year more than anything was the fact that it was coming from other black men. All right. It was coming from other black men in the matrix, all the negative propaganda for the most part. Now, when it comes to other groups, the sisters or, other groups of people, they might be throwing, this channel has been not reported, but it's been featured on a lot of people's channels, for the most part in a negative light. It's okay because it's expected. I only really respond to other black men more so less because I expect it from other groups of people and I expect it from women to a certain degree. I mean, you're doing something different, man. You're expanding your options. Some people don't like the fact that you can date in different countries around the world. Some people feel threatened by that. Like, man, we got black men in Eastern Europe, Asia, and they all over the place and they're connected. They're associating with each other. That's more power than gold, bro. That's more powerful than crypto, in my opinion. The fact that you can just simply go online and tap into a member and ask him, hey, bro, where can I get an Airbnb out here? Where can I get an apartment? Just simple questions, all right? You can, pay for consultations. You can pay for services from guys. I don't even really technically do consultations. I try to give you information here on this platform and on the Patreon. Also, real quick, on the Patreon, side note, I did a video about my streams of revenue on how I can live overseas, about making money. So if you're interested in that, make sure you sub to the Patreon, all right? I drop a lot of game in there. Shout out to all my crypto guys. I talk about crypto. I talk about establish your space on YouTube. I see a lot of guys creating YouTube pages. You really got YouTube is all about the setup. You feel me? It's like how you set yourself up and how your audience is going to see you. So it's definitely some tips in there about how to create your YouTube channel and what type of channel that you want to create. It's very important. And if you know before you get started, your channel will grow. And I had to separate this channel, right? Because at first I was doing film, video, and travel. And I think that could have been a little confusing to the audience base because I had two different types of audience. So I said, you know what? Let me separate the channels. All right. And that helped the channel grow a lot. So I talk about that in the Patreon as well. I talk about, starting your movement, creating a community, not just the travel community, but any community that you're a subject expert with. Meaning, if you're a doctor, right, you can start a Facebook group with nothing but Black doctors in it. All right. And you can monetize that Facebook group by doing meetups, group trips, selling your merch, whatever. Monetizing your community is probably one of the best things to do, even if it's a small community, because you can make a lot of money all types of different ways once you build your following, your community. All right. So I tell you guys all the time, I give them free information, free game. Hey, bro, if you want to start your YouTube channel, I suggest you start your YouTube channel. Even if you're not traveling right now, you want to get into the traveling YouTube space, you're prepared, do what I did. Just do interviews of guys around the world. I drop a lot of game in that particular Patreon video, man, on how to create different sources of revenue so you can live overseas. So if you haven't already joined, make sure you join the Patreon page. And it gets a little, I got some other stuff on that Patreon too, as y'all know. We got receipts of beautiful women from all over the world as well. So make sure check out the Patreon. All right. Let me catch the super chat and we'll get to flowing. Shout out to Montana GA. What's the name of your Patreon? The Patreon, it's a link in the description. Black Men Travels Patreon. Shout out to Mr. GG, Zero Money Down, Real Estate Structure. He says, what's your Patreon link? Yeah, the Patreon is actually in the description, guys. It's Black Men Travels. It is Black Men Travels. So like I was saying, man, make sure I catch all the super chats. Bro, we have to protect this space, this lane that we in. It's a very powerful lane. More guys are going to come into this lane. All right. Eventually, once they see what's going on in the States, and I know a lot of guys don't keep up with the news and Wall Street, but they're slowly changing over the financial structure of America. They're going to make it a little more difficult to do things over there financially, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong. America is one of the best financial capitalist countries in the world. It's probably one of the easiest countries in the world to make a lot of money. But just imagine applying the leverage of the U.S. dollar to overseas. All right. And that's the type of stuff that we'll be talking about, man. Your money goes so much further overseas to where, it depends on your budget. But like I did a video before, you can, you don't have to make $5,000, $7,000 a month. You feel me? Here to live a certain standard of life, and everybody's budget is different. I did a whole show about this with a check down list. I showed you the average salary in Colombia. I showed you the average salary in Brazil. Keep in mind, you definitely going to get gringo tax on pretty much almost everything besides going to grocery stores where the items are already, predetermined as far as the price. But so in your real estate, say if you rent an apartment, they find out you're American, even if you had a friend of yours speaking their native language, as soon as they find out you're American, the prices might be a little different. But keep in mind, in most cases, you don't have any bills. So even if your apartment is $600-$700, you got to take that into account that you don't have any bills. You're paying everything to your landlord. So there's some benefits, man. And that's the type of stuff we're talking about. The fact that it's very liberating, having the option to live overseas. It's just not about the women. You can accomplish a lot. I know a Black man that owns 48 Airbnbs in Medellin. I'm trying to get him to come on. I don't know if he want to come on. I emailed him a couple of times. We go back and forth. I'm trying to get him to come on, man, because, some guys, not to say this about him, but some guys like to keep, somewhat things on the hush hush. And that's why, we got the Patreon. I might interview him specifically on the Patreon because I know a lot of guys want to know, bro, how you do 48 Airbnbs in a different country? It's possible, man. He gave me the rundown. He paid a lot of money up front. He bought in the middle of the pandemic, so the apartments were very low. So now he's eating. Medellin is, for the most part, besides the restriction, the tourism is starting to come back, and he's eating good, man. So you can definitely do it, man. It's a lot of opportunities overseas. You just got to make sure that you're doing business with the right people. So, like I said before, man, it's going to be people coming for this space, and we have to protect it at all costs. We have to protect it, man. Sometimes I feel like it's just me in response half the time because I know guys like, why you living the life, why you even care? But no, man, you got to respond. You got to respond when dudes do derogatory videos about a country and they don't make any sense. Like the Saint Center dude who walked Copacabana and just talk, smack about Copacabana and the women in Copacabana. He walked for all of a little stretch of a quarter of a mile, and now he's an expert on Brazil. He goes to the clock tower in Colombia, one little location, and saying that he could be a pimp and all this, and this is what guys do when they travel. Come on, man, you giving misinformation because you want to support your movement. Remember, we don't come for nobody else's movement. I haven't seen not one travel bro, passport bro come for anybody else in their movement. We respect everybody's movement. We respect everybody's lane. Why? Because we're so busy doing what we're doing. We're the ones dating beautiful women all around the world. We're the ones buying property overseas. So we got our hands full. We're creating YouTube channels, we're creating content, so we got to protect this space from guys who would try to put a negative moniker on black men traveling the world, like I said before. Shout out to Shelton Henderson with a $10 super chat. I really appreciate that. Said, respect, bro. Keep the great content coming. We got 103 in the room. Once again, Shelton, I appreciate that super chat. Do me a favor, guys. Join the backup group for Black Men Travels 2.0, Passport Bros. All right. And also do me a favor and like the video. So yeah, man. Really short show today, man. I just want to come and chop it up with the family. I'm going to drop a link. If nobody wants to come on like the next 10, 15 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and close out the show. Guys, do me a favor. Remember, keep it clean as possible. We don't want to talk about too many things, in the negative light and things as far as about traveling. You want to, YouTube is very, particular about some of the words you use. They'll say anything is harassment or bullying and no cursing for your boy. So let me drop a link in the chat. We got the super chats rolling in. That's what's up. Flawed 2001 with a $5 super chat. He says, would you consider linking up with Richie Mack? Man, I've spoken with Richie Mack. He hasn't got back with me in a while. So, hopefully things are still popping because he was supposed to do an interview. This is when he first started. I saw the brother's talent. And I was like, oh, man, we got to do an interview. So, yeah, I would definitely be linking up with him soon. The Travel OG from the Zoom to Thailand channel. Appreciate you, Aaron and BMT. Yeah, man, hopefully he'll be coming on soon. Shout out to On Track Man with a $5 super chat. No comment, but I appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Okay, let me respond to this comment right here. Panama looking for a place to stay that wanted $3,000 a month. I need good internet for work. Hold on, brother. You talking about what? That's Panama. Panama is expensive. I believe you're saying $3,000 a month for an apartment. That's a lot, man. I will say this, man. The apartments in Brazil, if you're looking to stay right off the beach, they're gonna run you anywhere from 1,000. You might can find something about 800 a block off, but anywhere from like 1,000 to 1,500, 2,000 a month, something like that off the beach. Now, remember, the further you go in, the price drop drastically, man. I met a guy, a white guy, about maybe 2 weeks ago, and he was paying $300 a month for rent in an apartment. It was a couple of blocks inward, but it still was walking distance to the beach. So you definitely got to, that's pretty much Brazil in a nutshell. It's going to be a little bit expensive the more you get close to the beach. I'm in Barra da Tijuca. I am more in a block from the beach. I'm about, it's more in a block, but it's still walking distance. So, what I pay for rent is like $700, everything included. It's pretty cool little building. There's a lot of bachelors in this building. A lot of women in this building as well. So yeah, man. Salute to Shan Brown. I'm gonna drop a link one more time in the chat for the family. Like I said before, man, this is not the official end of the year review. I'm working on a video, dope little video, man, about all my travels. And all the group trips that BMT did, everything. So that's going to be a dope video. Make sure you look out for that. But I'm going to release that video on the Black BMT Vlogcast channel. I'm going to release the video on the Vlogcast channel. So real quick, just a reminder, you guys, that all the live feeds and all that will be on the other channel. So you definitely want to sub to the BMT Vlogcast channel, man. I definitely had to separate them. Like I say, in the live feeds, I'm gonna be live, and women always have bikinis on the beach. So I don't want no trouble with this particular channel, like an informative podcast type channel, crossing with the Vlogcast, man. So make sure you guys sub to the other channel. So yeah, once again, man, living overseas, life-changing experience. Had some ups and downs, was in a few relationships. Not gonna get too much into that. Very interesting relationships with the women out there in Colombia. Dating in Colombia, Medellin in particular, is fun, man. I'm not gonna lie. It is very fun to date out there. For the man, it's the opposite of dating in America, in my opinion. You definitely going to meet some very beautiful women in Colombia and Brazil, but more so, I would say in Colombia, it seems like they're a little bit more approachable. In Rio, you got to kind of be in a setting or something, maybe a nice restaurant or a club or a bar. You can get your holler on, but in Colombia, you can just talk to them, anywhere basically. They're very approachable. And the Tinder's a little bit more, in my opinion, the social media, the Tinders and the apps could be a little bit more active. What I've heard here, because I'm not on Tinder anymore, but what I heard here is beneficial to do a boost when you touch down to Rio. All right. Britt Jones, that's a great question, man. They are having the New Year's Eve fireworks, but they're really sketchy about the carnival right now. I think they're trying to see, what's going to happen with maybe if it's a spike in the new numbers of the beer bug, basically. But so we're not sure if they're going to have carnival. I hope they have carnival. I heard it's a thing to see. It'll be my first carnival down here. But I do know they're having the New Year's celebration. I appreciate it. Grego712. Man, we're just chopping up. Let me know if you want to come on. I'm going to drop a link real quick. But yeah, man. So once again, we had a few little beefs. I was going to do a show with a brother who did a really derogatory video about black men traveling the world. We had a back and forth. We couldn't really get together a good scheduled time. He thought I was attacking him, but I'm like, I'm not attacking you, bro. I'm just giving you facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm just letting you know the facts. I'm not attacking you. But sometimes guys will have, I'm not going to mention the guy's name. His channel is like super small. I think he got like 30 subs and everything. But I'm like, bro, as black men, we got to stop talking down on other black men all the time. You know what I'm saying? Just because we don't agree with the life that they chose. Because nobody's, you know what I'm saying? Nobody is supporting you, helping you buy tickets, helping you book Airbnbs. So you're not hurting anybody with what you're doing. So why are you coming for these guys? You feel me? That's doing their own little lane. It's always everybody coming for us. So I wanted to bring him on, but he was a little, he was scared I was going to attack him online or whatnot. But, it's a big misconception, man. Big misconception about, men in general traveling overseas. Shout out to Pio. He says, are there protocols in place if you test positive while there? I'm pretty sure there are protocols in place. More likely, you're going to have to self-quarantine, or they might put you in some type of hotel. I'm not sure. But it's definitely protocols. They're going to be different in every country. All right. It's going to be definitely different. Like I said, Thailand has taken a very, strict stance on how they're dealing with the beer bug versus Brazil, who's probably one of the most laid back countries and them dealing with, because the president, he's just not, he's just not going for what everybody else is saying about the beer bug. All right. So once again, guys, I appreciate you joining me for this show. I'm scheduled to do another show this afternoon with my guy Rob Bowers. We'll be talking about living in Dominican Republic versus living in Colombia. All right. Once again, appreciate everything, guys. Peace. Read that last comment by my dude Jay Clyde. He says, most of the travel fellas I know are chill And the people who have issues with them would just approach them for the conversation. They would be surprised instead of the attacks. Yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely. I definitely agree with that. So once again, family, peace.